Chris, and this is my channel Born on 11/9/70, and have an interesting situation here. And you guys know me, I'm always going to think into things a little bit deeper and see if there's an actual motive behind what's going on right now. So if you're not aware of the situation, there has been a leaked bunch of, I guess it's a program that the employees of the Coca-Cola company had to mandatorily take. I don't know if mandatorily is a word, but that's all right. It was mandatory for employees to take about how to be less white. And it was mandatory for them to have to go through this seminar, and it got leaked out into the internet. And I say leaked, and I want to explain why, because I find this very interesting. So a lot of people are boycotting the Coca-Cola company. Now, keep in mind, Coca-Cola company owns several companies outside of Coca-Cola. I mean, they own companies, or at least partially own companies and products like Sprite, Tab, Barks Root Beer, Vitamin Water, High C, Nestea, Nestle Chocolate, Powerade, Simply Orange, and hundreds more. So you should check the list of all the products. Tab, I think I said Vitamin Water, but there's a lot of companies that they either own or partially own. Now, it's caused an outroar. A lot of people are mad, and rightfully so, because just imagine if they had it mandatory for employees to be less black. How amazingly racist that would be, but for some reason there's a pass on it. But I think there's an alternative motive here, and how can use situations like this to possibly profit off of it. And I'm going to explain why. Now, I'm not saying this has, but I would be curious if anybody could find out about this, because the ironic part is the majority shareholder of the Coca-Cola company is Warren Buffett. Now, Warren Buffett, last time I checked, is a straight white male. And since he is the majority shareholder, anything that goes through the company would have to be approved by him. So he would have had to approve this seminar that is mandatory for his employees to be less white. Now, either he hates himself that much, or there's more to it. Could it be divide and conquer? I'm sure it could. But if you know anything about powerful people, they are very good at using people's emotions against them to make a lot of money. Now, since he is a shareholder, that means he has a lot of stock in the Coca-Cola company. Now, what's a good way to make a lot of money where no one would know about it, but somebody like him or people inside the company, where you can do situations that only you know about, you'll know what the reaction is, and you could profit off of it. So I'm not saying this is what they've done, but check this out. Think of it from a evil corporation and a person trying to make lots of money quickly. This strategy. Since Warren Buffett is the majority shareholder, and he would have to approve something like this to happen, he would probably be smart enough to know that there would be some backlash. And the stock would probably start to plunge, because people would boycott the products, and it would cause a downward fall of the stock. Now, what if, and I'm saying what if because I don't know, and I don't know how to check, but what if, because Warren Buffett or other people in the company knew this was going to be the outcome, they just happened to sell their stock right before any of this quote-unquote leaked, knowing that the public would react very negatively, the stocks would drop, and they would have gotten out right before it happened, and then buy it all back once it hit rock bottom. That would be very close to insider information or insider trading, if you think about it. Problem, reaction, solution. So if Warren Buffett was as smart as he probably is, it would not shock me that he would allow some kind of scenario like this, knowing there would be such harsh feedback, to be able to profit off of people's anger, not thinking about the fact that he is the majority shareholder of the company and had to approve this. knowing that he is going to get a backlash. So people inside the company could have possibly profited incredibly off of this by selling their stocks, if they did, and I'm not saying they are, knowing that they're going to put out this leaked, racist, mandatory, how not to be white seminar, knowing that people will ban their products, not everybody, but people will ban their products, and the stocks would lower. I don't know if they tank, but they would definitely go lower. Well, if you're a stockholder and you are about to know that a stock is going to plunge, what are you going to do? You're going to sell. Now, no one else is going to know about that, so anybody else that's not in the know who owns any stock in the Coca-Cola company all of a sudden is going to see their stocks shoot down and probably lose a lot of money. If you know anything about what happened with the Great Depression, it was basically started by very wealthy people getting people to invest in stocks to the point where like every mom and pop store and every local person and everybody's grandmother was buying stocks because everybody told them to. And then once it reached a certain point, they crashed the market by selling it. And what did they do when the market crashed? They bought it all back. And more millionaires came out of the Great Depression than any other time in U.S. history. So they are very good at being able to manipulate people and use their emotions against them to be able to profit. So again, I will say repeatedly, I am not saying this is what they did. I would not be shocked if someone in the company or Warren Buffett himself just happened to have sold some of his stocks before this leaked information got out, and they would buy it all back up again. Good way to make some cash. So this is the world we live in now, where companies are using this rhetoric and this racism and this nonsense that they know people are going to react to. And since they're the ones starting it and perpetrating it and approving it, and they know what the result is going to be, because I mean, this is going on now since at least 2016, if not earlier, but it started getting really noticeable about 2016. It would not be shocking if these companies started selling their stocks before they put these things out, knowing that they'll plummet. So they've made their profit and they could buy it back for a quarter or a half of it, even a tenth of what they paid for it. Because they know eventually it'll go back up again because people will forget. You know, many people may boycott Coke, but they may not know that the Coca-Cola company owns or partially owns Seagram's, Bacardi, High C, Nestle, Nestea, Vitamin Water, Powerade, Simply Orange, and many, many more companies. So they'll still make plenty of money. Because somebody might think, oh, well, you know, I won't drink Coca-Cola, but I'll go buy a Sprite, or I'll drink some vitamin water, or I'll drink Powerade, or I'll go and get some Nestea, and they end up giving them money. All you have to do is just Google the fact that the list of companies that Coca-Cola owns or partially owns, and you'll see there's literally hundreds of companies and hundreds of products. So, are people tired of being manipulated? Are people tired of getting angry? Problem, reaction, solution. This has been going on for so long, it's amazing that people still buy it. So luckily, I have not drank any soda in probably about 5 to 7 years. I don't drink soda. It's anything that is strong enough to clean your car engine should not be something you put into your body. But people are allowed to do whatever they want. If people have the right to kill themselves, they can. I wouldn't advise it, and I think it's not a very wise decision. But you are free to put whatever you want in your body, even if it is toxic. So, I have no pony in this race. But I want to try and help other people realize, because like I say all the time, you need real eyes to realize that people are being manipulated, and the people up at the top, the big corporate owners, the big stock shareholders and everything, are profiting knowing that these situations are going to happen. You know, there was a time, and I wear this as a reminder, there was a time when I was a huge Yankee fan. I used to spend many a day going to the ballpark, watching them on TV. I no longer care about them anymore or any more sports, because why would I want to support any company that basically says if you are of this particular skin color, there's something wrong with you? Now, I understand there have been many races throughout the millennia where this has happened, but there's an old expression that says two wrongs do not make a right. If you are somebody where your culture or your religion or your beliefs or whatever have been ridiculed, prosecuted, attacked, I can understand that. But if you become the very thing that you hated, then how are you any different from those who oppressed you? If we cannot learn that at this point, there is no saving the human race. And that's why I've separated myself from the majority of what's going on in this world, because I do not connect with this anymore. I am my own person. I don't need anyone to provide for me that I can provide for myself. I am not afraid to question things, just at the very least to make sure they are accurate. And if I make a mistake, I don't spend the rest of my life dwelling on it. I try and learn from it and try and do better the next time. So unfortunately, people constantly get fooled and they are being manipulated for potential profit. And I'm saying potential because I cannot prove that. But like I said, these companies make billions and billions and billions of dollars, not by accident. And if they keep putting out the same thing over and over again, they're either really stupid or there's an alternative motive. And you can't get to the billionaire status by being really stupid. Even the luckiest person doesn't become a multi-billionaire. You got to earn it. And a lot of times people earn it the wrong way. And to me, if that's what it takes to become a billionaire, I'll be proud to never be one. Because if I have to hurt others and manipulate others and keep others down so I can lift myself up in that way, that's a crappy way to be a human. But each person has their path. But remember, you don't have to walk somebody else's path. You can go any direction you want. So if you want to keep being angry and scared and divided and all that stuff, there's obviously a reason why you're doing it. Whether you like it or not, if you choose to do something that does not make you happy, you should say to yourself, what can I learn from this situation and why do I keep coming back to it? So I don't even associate with this stuff anymore. That's why you don't see as many videos as you used to, because I have separated from it and I'm a lot happier for it. Does that mean every day is a bed of roses and rays of sunshine? Absolutely not. I'll have my bad days. I'll have my sad days. I'll have my days I question things. But because I'm responsible for my own life and don't depend on others to make my life whole or complete or guided, I will always come out on top, even if it doesn't mean I have to be all the way at the top. Because if I have to walk over people to get to the top, I ain't doing it. What you do is your own path. Learn from it. But be smart. Don't be manipulated based on emotion. Remember, emotion is energy in motion. You give somebody else your energy, they put you in that motion. Once you realize it, because you need real eyes to realize, you won't be manipulated anymore. So if you are continuously being angry, ask yourself why. Remember, unconditional love is unconditional, no conditions. It's time we get closer to that. Thanks for listening. Thank you to the 16 people that were kind enough to hit the like button. Let's leave a comment or two. Let me know what you thought. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. I'll see you soon.